Hey everyone, welcome to another video on video game myths, urban legends, secrets, and rumors. This one is another one on RuneScape. If you have a myth, secret, or rumor you want me to talk about, then write a comment and subscribe to see more video game urban legend videos. So I have no idea when this was added, but my husband was showing me this one JMod's tweet last year about this unused line of code in the game that's apparently related to using rock cakes on ducks. There's this unused interaction that was apparently too inappropriate for the game or just not really suited. It wasn't in good taste. Yeah, apparently someone didn't like ducks at Jagex. Who knows what the interaction was? I don't think there's any way of actually knowing. But I don't know how someone found out about this. Someone approached a JMod about it, but you can't actually see what the interaction is. So this one's really weird, actually. You know how in the Haunted Mine quest you can get a damp tinderbox? There's actually another way to make your tinderbox wet, but it doesn't change the actual item ID. It's still the same item. If you try to bring a tinderbox to the fishing platform, there's a unique line of dialogue that says it's too damp to actually use it here. And if you want to light a torch on here, for example, you actually have to just light it off the fishing platform and then bring it on. If I'm remembering correctly, you do actually light a torch during this quest, the Sea Slug quest, but nobody really thinks to use the torch on the sea slugs themselves or the fishermen here. You actually get a unique animation that plays when you do so, and also unique chat interactions. It's kind of strange, actually. It's kind of funny the sea slugs are scared of that. I think a lot of people know about this one, but you can use fire spells on the mummies. I don't know if any other kind of fire-related items will work on these if you try to use fire-related items on them. But if you use fire spells, they will burst into flames, and they have unique examine text afterwards, and it's kind of strange. If you keep right-clicking, it'll keep labeling the NPC as something different. Like, it'll just say Mummy Ashes or something, I think. It's kind of funny. But yeah, no, these things will just burst into flames if you use fire spells on them. I have Gnome. This is one of the items that I meant to have on the first part, but there's not really much to say about it. That's kind of why I didn't add it before. It's an Eye of a Gnome that's found in Atoll inside of the magic shop. It doesn't really do anything despite sounding like an herblore ingredient as well. Like, this could very well just be an herblore ingredient, but it's not. It could have been added to add more flavor to Atoll and make it stand out from the other areas in the game, but aside from that, there's absolutely nothing to do with this Eye of Gnome. I mean, you can play with them though. I mean, you can throw them around and everything. It's kind of fun, right? I wanted to talk about some instances of item duplication throughout RuneScape's history. I won't talk about the recent item duplication glitches, as these points are mostly about RS1 to late RS2. And I also won't talk about kite neeks as well, because I feel like everybody already knows about that. You know, the price of party hats now are just caused by him duplicating a whole bunch of rares back in the day. And Jax decided not to roll it back. I should say the Gower brothers decided not to roll it back. But this topic is mostly about the Archer Ring situation, the Mage's Book situation, the Dagon High set, just stuff like that. So I think with the Dagon High set is during the quest, while Gothic sleeps, you could actually just take the Dagon High set out of a drawer and then leave the room and go back. And I've never done this before. I played around 08. I don't think I've ever done that quest when I was a kid. I don't think I've ever actually done that. But you could take the Dagon High set out, and I think the body out for, what was it, 75k or 80k? I don't actually remember. But it was an absurd amount, and you could actually just take it outside of the room and go back in, you'll get another set again. It's like took place in an instance, I guess. But yeah, that Dagon High set, I don't know how long that lasted for. I think it was up until 2011, which is actually insane if that's the case. I don't really have a lot of information on this. The information is kind of scarce, but yeah, with the Archer's Ring, it was a different situation, though. It wasn't actually caused by a bug in the game or anything. It was more so Jagex trying to figure out an item recovery system. Let's say a player lost their items due to a glitch or something. Apparently someone lost their Archer's Ring, and instead of just giving them a single Archer's Ring back, I believe Jagex gave them, I don't know, 6 million of them. Maybe they meant to give them back 6 mil, but they just gave them 6 million Archer's Rings instead, and the price just absolutely, went from 900k to 5k over the span of a few days, and obviously it was worth 6 mil before if that was the GP they're giving back to them. Again, I might have some information wrong here, but that was the gist of it. The same kind of situation might have happened with the Mage's Books, because those should always be a high price. They should never go down to something like 10k, but they actually did. These Mage's Books, who knows what happened? Maybe a similar glitch. I think it might have happened around the same time. I'm not really too certain. It might have happened around 2014. But yeah, Mage's Books just absolutely dropped in price by an absurd amount. It's absolutely insane. Oh, so I went and checked. Apparently the robe top, the Dagon High robe top, out for 72k. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's not like it matters too much since the Squeal of Fortune was released a few years later, but you know. I remember for another video game mysteries video I uploaded, there was someone in the comments that complained that I didn't get footage for a certain topic, and you know, I understand for a certain part I should probably always have footage, but I don't want to actually play through Monkey Madness again for this one. You know, I'm not going to create another character, I'm not going to put a bond on it just so I can go and do Monkey Madness for a 10-second clip, you know. Not going to be doing that. But anyway, this is about the Enchanted Gold Bar that you get during Monkey Madness 1. And you can actually talk to this Enchanted Gold Bar, and it says stuff like, I'm stuck in this horrible gold bar and get me out of here. And if you don't have the Amulet of Monkey Speak equipped, it'll just make monkey noises. It's actually pretty funny. You can light Jogre bones and use them as a regular fire. You can also superheat them, which gives you magic and cooking experience, if I remember correctly. After being lit for some time, the Jogre bones will become burnt, and you can pick them up and get burnt Jogre bones, which can be buried for 16 prayer XP, which is totally not worth it whatsoever, but, you know, there you go. If you want some quick prayer XP, if you're down in a dungeon somewhere, you need 16 experience left to get a level, there you go. You also get burnt Jogre bones if you use superheat on them as well. You can also use Jogre bones on a fire and get the message, you heat the bones on the fire, but they don't look any different, or something along those lines. For some strange reason, you also need 30 firemaking to light them, and if you don't have that, you are given a message in the chat that says something similar to, you could find another way to light these. I wonder why there are so many unique interactions with these bones. It kind of reminds me of those strange org bones that for some reason Crandor doesn't drop. I mean, I get it, it would be a little bit too OP if you just dropped those instead of the regular big bones, but this one is about the Fremennik Slayer dungeon, specifically about the Kurasks and their size. So there's a single Kurask in the game that's bigger than the rest of them, and I personally couldn't find this when I was recording. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it's in the footage somewhere. I don't know if you guys can tell me in the comments if you see it, if there's one that's bigger than the rest of them, but aside from that, this one isn't too odd because there's other creatures in the same dungeon that are bigger sizes, smaller sizes, but there's apparently only one Kurask that's bigger than the rest of them. Kind of strange, actually. I wonder if it has a different drop table. Probably doesn't, but who knows. I don't remember if there's only one instance of this in the God Wars dungeon or two, but this was added in very late RS2. You can find the word noob written behind some frozen warriors in the snow. This was also added to osrs. You can see this in there as well. Not much to say about this one. You can just find a little Easter egg in here. Get it? Cool, because it's really cold in the God Wars dungeon. It's kind of there's many mysteries to talk about when it comes to Karamja and Crandor, but we're going to be focusing on how Crandor used to look in early RS2. I don't really remember what year it actually changed. I think I completed Dragon Slayer around the middle of 06, and I don't remember the island ever looking this way. It was always the burnt version of it, but Crandor used to look like how it looked in RS1. Instead of having burnt ruins everywhere, it looked like a normal island with green grass, trees, and bushes all over it. I don't understand why it looked like this considering the lore. I have to assume it's due to limitations RSC had. There weren't many unique textures in RS1, as you know. I really like the look of the island though without the burnt ruins everywhere. It looks really nice, a nice tropical island with all the trees everywhere and whatnot. It's really cool. The brass necklace. Did anyone else used to wear one of these as a kid? I remember when I was younger I used to think this had some sort of purpose behind it instead of it just being a useless item, and useless items aren't too out of place in a game like RuneScape, but it's still pretty odd. It can't be made through crafting and is obviously dropped by goblins found in the western Varrock Bank downstairs and underneath Edgeville as well. It being found downstairs in the bank is what made me think it had some type of special purpose behind it, despite it being a common drop from goblins as well, and you know, you can just telegrab it in the bank anyway. But still, maybe it was going to be for some kind of quest that was never implemented or something. Something of note is that for some reason this item was dropped by Moss Giants in RS1 but not in RS2. I always thought that was really interesting. Sorry for this short video, but thanks for watching everyone. I'll be sure to make some more RuneScape videos on urban legends, secrets, and rumors like I said in the intro. Did I say that in the intro? I think I redid that. I don't know what I'm talking about.